Today, I am going to show you how to explore Thailand in 14 days or more, depending on how much time you have for your trip. With so many places to see in the country, it is not that easy to figure out what all should be included. So I want to make this itinerary planning easy for you guys, where we will take you through an overview of the trip that will be so much fun to watch and even more fun to experience. And honestly, I would not be surprised if once you get there, you will already be planning your next trip to Thailand before you even leave the country from your first trip.
We will definitely be back one day.
Hello, Thailand! Some quick insights before we jump into the itinerary. Thailand has a whopping population of 71.7 million people spread across the country, with nearly 20% of the population living in the greater Bangkok metropolitan area. English is widely spoken across Thailand, but the main language is Thai, so bring your translator app, but you should rarely have any communication issues unless you're in some rural areas. The amount of places you can visit, lifestyles you can experience, subcultures you can find, and foods you can try are seemingly limitless. From popular temples, world-renowned beaches, and tons of islands to hop around, and even party if you're into that, Thailand has it all. This itinerary will guide you on how to go through the Thailand experience efficiently while enjoying the great hospitality and open arms the locals will offer you. We also have included some destinations and experiences commonly skipped by tourists here, so you'll have to stick around until the end so you don't miss out on some of these places.
Welcome to Bangkok International Airport.
Thailand, we have arrived. It is our first morning here and I cannot wait. I feel so freaking alive. But I can tell you, I'm feeling great also because I'm able to stay connected thanks to my Jetpack eSIM. Jetpack, whether you're here or you're in 150 destinations around the world, they provide amazing and fast, reliable data that you can easily set up from your phone. You don't have to do the traditional way where you stop at the airport as soon as you arrive to the place, visit the SIM card shop, spend 40 minutes waiting in line doing all this. No, you get set up right away on your phone, open up with a Wi-Fi connection, buy your Jetpack eSIM, and then boom, you're able to get connected and continue with your day. So if you guys want to check out more on Jetpack's eSIM, we've got a special offer for you. So head down to the link in my description below and we'll be able to get you set up with your Jetpack eSIM today. The trip will begin in Bangkok, which is the capital of Thailand, and I would recommend 2 days in Bangkok if you're limited on time, but if you are traveling at a slower pace, you can easily turn this into a lot more days with how much there is to do. In Bangkok, you are going to be able to experience how the locals in the city live their daily lives. It is fast-paced, wild, and there is so much going on everywhere. You should keep in mind that the city is pretty spread out, but the good news is there are many ways to get around the city, from ferries on the river to seemingly unlimited taxis, and of course one of the most popular modes of transportation, especially for tourists, which are the famous tuk-tuks or three-wheelers or rickshaws, depending on which word you use. Just be sure that you are ready with your negotiation skills to get a fair price.
300 baht.
300 baht, is that a good deal?
Yeah, that's fair, that's fair.
All right, let's do it. The 300 baht that we're paying to get this ride is roughly like $9 almost. Yeah, so not too bad for the boys to go ripping through here. But if you were just looking for a low-cost ride at a local's price, use Grab, which is Southeast Asia's version of Uber. You can take a Grab car or you can ride on the back of a Grab bike, which will be your lowest cost option to get you around anywhere in Bangkok. And the bikes themselves will get you through the intense traffic that can take hours to get through Bangkok if you're going at rush hour. Anyways, let's jump into how you should spend your time in Bangkok. The first thing to consider is more of a personal preference of mine, as I love going to a new place and immediately getting to know a few locals. Now, so we're going with a chef's tour, by the way, guys. Annie works with a chef's tour and she is a local you're originally from
The south
Krabi.
of Thailand.
Yeah.
Trang.
Next
to Krabi.
Next to Krabi, all right. So I would recommend to go on a street food tour, and I made it easy for you guys and linked the one I went on down in the description below. This will give you an idea of what types of foods to try out throughout your trip, what the costs are, and a bit of the culture behind the food. You can also ask the guide tons of questions and learn a lot more about the Thai culture.
Why we stop here and eat this one like a first menu? Because Thai local people who live in Bangkok, like I said, they come from countryside. They rent a small, tiny room like me and my younger sister. We rent a small apartment, and that small apartment, no kitchen. We cannot prepare our breakfast by ourselves. That's why we buy this one, stand at the corner, enjoy so quickly with Thai milk tea, Thai coffee.
Which for me, I love doing at the beginning of the trip so I can notice all of those details and try out specific foods that I had at the beginning of the trip as I'm exploring throughout the rest of the trip. But because there is so much to do in Bangkok, I'm just going to share with you a few of the top things to consider, as everyone has their own unique preference on how they would prefer to spend time when they're traveling. But if you want to take a much deeper dive into Bangkok things to do, make sure to check out my top 25 things video, which I'll link also down in the description. Bangkok has some of the most exotic temples and palaces you can find in the country, like the Grand Palace and Wat Arun Temple, that will bring you much closer to the understanding of the Thai culture. And if you are open to going a little bit outside of the Bangkok city limits, you should stop by the Dragon Temple, or more officially known as Wat Sam Phran, which is one of the most impressive temples you can find in the country.
So you can make one single wish, and with that one wish, I have wished for something very special. Something very special. Very special.
Also, another notable spot outside of the city is the Mae Klong Railway Market, which is exactly as it sounds. A market that sits essentially on the railroad tracks, and the vendors move every time the train comes rushing through. Or another option is to visit the Damnoen Saduak floating market, where you can go shopping from your boat. But for me personally, they completely overcharge on things. However, the experience in itself does make it worth it to go.
How much are the autos?
600 baht.
Oh! You guys are working together? 600 batskis? We need a good price.
60 or 600?
600.
600.
60?
600.
100 baht?
Wow.
All right. No, that's a little expensive.
Anyways, back in the city, you will want to visit the Mahanakan building, which is Bangkok's largest skyscraper, as well as stroll through some of the vast parks in the city, like Lumphini Park and Benchakitty Park. These are both really amazing places that the city has set aside, so you still get this component of nature in the busyness of Bangkok. Bangkok is also known for a tremendous amount of malls, and while it is not always my #1 preference to visit them, the Icon Siam Mall is something of the future. It combines the traditional side of Thailand with the luxurious vibe that you will find in some areas throughout Bangkok. On the bottom floor of Icon Siam, you can even find a full street food market that is a modern version of a typical street food market. And another notable mall to mention is Terminal 21, which was actually designed to be like an airport. After the sun is set, it is time to experience the other side of the city that is known quite well around the world, the nightlife of Bangkok, which is nothing short of wild, fun, and just crazy sometimes. The popular place to stroll through is Khao San Road, and you'll find out why as soon as you visit, but here's a little sneak peek. There is everything from food to restaurants, parties spilling out onto the streets, plenty of booze, and everything in between. This is the backpacker-friendly side of the city in terms of pricing, as you can have a lot of fun without breaking the bank. And on the contrary, you have the rooftop party side of Bangkok that is the more higher end and higher budget depending on what you are looking to experience. I will also mention that you don't have to go wild in Bangkok in the evening. You can also have a romantic night out on a dinner cruise, which will take you right down the river, and the pricing on these can range quite a bit, from inexpensive pax ships to high-end, spacious, romantic, exclusive cruises like I did. So overall, during those first 2 days in Bangkok, you can do so much and mix and match however you would like to spend it. And if you start early, you can get a majority of these things knocked out in the 48-hour period, of course. So if you have time to stay for a little bit longer, I would recommend adding another day or two. But if you're limited to 14 days, I would spend 2 days and then keep moving. While the city life has been fun, it is time to take a domestic flight down to either Krabi or Phuket and catch the ferry over to one of my favorite places in the world, Koh Phi Phi, aka the Phi Phi Islands. Some people make the mistake, in my personal opinion, of just doing a day trip to Koh Phi Phi and spending like 5 hours and then heading back, but you need 2 nights here to really experience what this place has to offer. Koh Phi Phi is small, yet I feel like that's what makes this place so special. You are not going to find cars to drive you around when you arrive at the ferry port, but instead get ready to get your steps in as you will be walking everywhere.
Super excited to be walking through these streets. This place has gotten busier since I was here last, but it still has that small island charm.
However, don't worry, there are plenty of people there you can hire to help you with your luggage over to the hotel.
He just carried both of these, wouldn't even let me help him, which was so nice. And the backpack at the same time, so that's a lot. Kop kun kop, brother. Thank you very much, really appreciate it.
As for spending time on the actual main island of Koh Phi Phi Dan, you can find tons of low-cost accommodation, whether you want to go to the cheapest route and stay at a hostel, or you want to wake up with a view like this every morning for less than 100 USD per night. I will link this hotel as well in case you guys want to check it out.
It's a popular island, there's so much going on. There's an expensive person's budget staying in one of these, nicer places around here, or there's a lower cost budget where you can stay down in the hostels, or a medium range in some of these other resorts as well. And there's nice restaurants, there's street food, there's so much you can do with that.
The islands are home to the world famous Maya Bay beach, and to be honest, you can't visit Thailand and not experience what Maya Bay has to offer. From serene turquoise waters to majestic cliffs and insta-worthy views, it is a one-of-a-kind landscape. The unfortunate reality is, due to its popularity, Maya Bay's exclusive natural beauty became so mainstream in the recent decade that the overcrowding of the beach and the effects on the marine life has led to no more swimming at the actual beach, besides simply dipping your ankles. But the good news is, if you take a really early morning boat, you can avoid the crowds and feel the beautiful essence of this place. And along your boat tour, assuming you rent a private longtail boat like we did, your captain can take you to snorkeling spots just off the coast of Maya Bay, as well as tons of other insanely beautiful areas to swim all around Koh Phi Phi. 2 other areas to consider, which are commonly skipped by tourists when they visit Koh Phi Phi, are Bamboo Beach and Nui Beach, which also both require a boat rental or simply joining a group tour to reach them. As for stuff to do during the day, you need to visit the markets and get yourself some beach attire, a fresh coconut, and some street food. You can also rent kayaks for just a few bucks an hour and head over to Monkey Beach, or if you like partying, stop by the Ibiza Pool Day Party. You might be surprised to find out that you can even do some hikes around the island. They are not intense by any means, but they will get your blood pumping and you'll definitely break a sweat. There are 2 main viewpoints people usually visit, which are known as Viewpoint 1 and 2, but I would also recommend walking another 10 minutes or so further up the mountain to a lesser known viewpoint, which is known as Viewpoint 3, where you can see a completely different angle of the island. After the sun sets, the fun is not stopping, but actually it's probably just getting started. No matter if you like to party or not, it is worth stopping by the beaches to see the famous fire shows that happen every single night. And if you've still got some energy, it is time to grab some drinks and check out some of the parties that happen around the island until you run out of energy. After a couple days in Koh Phi Phi, you can catch the ferry and head over to the next stop, which happens to be the largest island in the country, Phuket. This place can be what you want it to be. Generally, it is more of a combination of nature, history, and epic beach towns that is world-renowned for a lot of partying, but if you're not into that, there are still tons of other things to do. From temples to delicious restaurants and white sand beaches, you can make the most out of your day by renting a scooter and exploring around the different areas and ending in the places like Patong Beach to experience the island nightlife. One thing to mention is Phuket is huge, so be prepared to spend some time driving or taking a taxi from one side of the island to the other. Next up, we are going to one of my favorite places in Thailand, which feels like you are transported into a real-life version of Avatar known as Khao National Park. To get there from Phuket, you can take a van or private taxi a few hours north either directly to the park, or you can go to Surat Thani if you wanted to grab a scooter and cruise through the lands. For me, I wanted to experience the rural side of Thailand, so I rented a scooter in Surat Thani.
Ah, that fresh mountain air. What a beautiful place. So we've got about 5 minutes till we get to the pier, and I think we're gonna pass the amazing dam viewpoint on our way down there. We got the longtail boats right over there. We're gonna be getting on one of those.
And made my way over to the ferry port to catch a boat into some uncharted lands. Actually, they are charted, but they feel uncharted. When visiting Khao National Park, I would personally recommend to stay overnight in the floating bungalows that this place is known for. There are a wide range of accommodation options from low cost to more higher end options. When I went, I took a roughly 1.5 hour boat ride surrounded by towering limestone cliffs and turquoise blue Gatorade water that is like no other.
Guys, this is truly another world. Wow.
It was impressive to say the least, and we even had Spider-Man stop by on a mini longtail boat to sell us some delicious Thai ice cream.
Me and Spidey, let's go. Oh yeah.
Once we made it out a little further, we had arrived to 500 Rai, which I personally consider this place to be the Maldives of Thailand, as you get the experience of floating rooms, tropical-like ambiance, and unbelievable foods and services. The downside is the prices on places like these are going to be a lot. However, I will mention the 500 Rai experience is more than just a hotel stay, as you get to go on animal spotting safaris from the boat, as well as do some pretty wild cave exploring and hiking for all of you adventurous people. But after an epic 2 days out here, it is time to take a boat back over to the dock and begin our next adventure. The last week or so, we have spent a ton of our time on and around the water, which is my personal favorite side of Thailand, but it is now time to take a flight from Surat Thani up to the northern part of Thailand known as Chiang Mai to see a different side of the terrain. The rural areas around the city of Chiang Mai are the main attractions of this region, but of course you'll want to check out the city of Chiang Mai and visit the downtown areas where there are tons of markets and great places to walk around and eat. Chiang Mai is known for being the digital nomad hub of Thailand, as you have tons of great coffee shops in the city, convenient access to pretty much anything you need, and an airport that you can fly to tons of destinations from. I would recommend spending most of your time in Chiang Mai experiencing some of the incredible waterfalls and places to hike around, as this is the essence of the luscious green landscape. Another must-do in Chiang Mai is to visit the Elephant Freedom Village.
We are here at the Elephant Freedom Village, and we're gonna take you so close to some elephants today. Let's go.
Which is debatably one of the most iconic things to experience in Thailand, as you get to feed the elephants plantains and then bring them over to have their meal.
Oh. Oh, see, that's how they break it apart. He steps on it, kind of falls into pieces, and then he's able to chew it a bit easier.
And finish off bathing with them in a river, which is a really special way to be able to see the elephants and interact with them. The remaining days of our trip are going to finish off with a very important component, which is to do a bit of a road trip around the northern part of Thailand. If you had more time, I would easily recommend to spend a week doing this leg of the trip, as there are tons of things to see in this vast region. But if you only have 2 to 3 days left on your itinerary, it is worth doing an expedited version exploring northern Thailand. That way you can see one additional side. There are tons of places to check out in the region, so I'm going to name a few of my favorites, which I did over a 4-day period, and that way you can map out and determine which ones you are able to fit in based on your timeline. The first experience I will mention is heading over to the Pong Duet Geyser.
The geyser. Look at this, 90 to 100 Celsius here.
Which is where you might want to consider eating breakfast, as you can actually cook eggs in the hot water and have a nice little snack.
Yeah, here we go. 15 minutes it says here. The temperature of Pong Duet Geyser is about 90 degrees. Follow the tutorial, your result will be as pictures. You can boil cooked yolk, but soft egg white at Pong Nam Ram Thai Pa. 15 minutes it says.
15 minutes, okay.
Yeah.
It is also a great place if you were to have more time to spend the night in nature, and there are natural hot spring pools that you can dip in and out of, which I could imagine would be even better at night.
Because here in the mountains it gets like a little brisk chilly at night, so coming and chilling in here, ooh, we gotta come here and stay out one of these next times.
Another notable place in the region is the backpacker town of Pai. This is a small town that attracts people from all over the world, from river cruising to seeing the Big Buddha, and just simply strolling the markets and nightlife. Next to the city of Pai is also the Pai Canyon, which is great for anyone looking to do some hiking and see some really exotic landscapes, much different than the ones you saw down in the islands. This next place is one of my favorite places that I was able to experience in Thailand, which is the Tam Lad Cave. It is just so different from any other cave I have ever seen, as you are immediately greeted with thousands of fish following you as you walk along the pathway of the bridge leading into the cave. Inside the cave, you can explore and even take a boat through the cave, and the fish will follow you there as well. It is such an exotic place, to say the least. Further north is the Golden Triangle, which is a pretty wild place to be, as you can see 3 countries at once all meeting: Thailand, Laos, and Myanmar.
Thailand soil right here. Across the road right there is Laos and Myanmar. If you look straight this way, I believe maybe where those red roofs are. If the river cuts through here, Myanmar would be on the other side.
The 3 borders meet in this area, so this has created a really cool border town that is the perfect last place for you on your itinerary if you're planning to cross the border to one of these other countries and continue exploring. If you're not, I would recommend stopping by one last place before heading to your departure airport in Chiang Mai, which fits the last but not least quote, and it is called the White Temple, which is easily the most unique temple I have ever seen in my life. The temple has some of the most intricate details and leaves everyone completely blown away after visiting.
It's always cool to come to a place that it's like the first to ever experience, especially because I've been to Thailand a couple times before and had never seen anything this impressive.
This is just one of the many itineraries you can reference for your trip to Thailand, and I've actually created an ebook which has a handful of itinerary variations from 1 to 4 weeks long, and even an itinerary for people who just simply want to go to Thailand and party, as well as other things that are a bit harder to come across, which is like how to get from one island to the next, ferries, speedboats, how do you travel by plane in Thailand, and so much more. That has all of my experiences written in there, and I think you'll find it very helpful. So if you want to check that out, there's a link down in the description below. So that is where we will end it today, my friends. I hope this itinerary has been able to help you plan your trip around the beautiful country of Thailand. I have to mention, if you can increase the length of your trip, you will not regret it. And as I mentioned, you can find all of the resources mentioned throughout this video linked down in the description. So thank you guys so much, and we will see you in the next Nomac Guides video.